Welcome back to another video. Today we are in the Color Cup and let's see if we can get some wins with this team. We're going to be using the Poliwrath paired with the Morpeko and the Shadow Zapdos in the back. Our opponent does switch out into the Cradily. We are going to stay in for now. We're going to shield the first Grass Knot because we can get to another move and we're going to be able to threaten a shield back. We do grab that shield back and now we see the Cradily fire off another move. Looks like we let the Grass Knot go and we get the farm down. So we not only win the switch, but we leave them with a sliver of health. And we switch out immediately into the Shadow Zapdos versus this Marowak. Marowak does invest a shield and we can let this go or shield it. We decided to let it go. Only is a Bone Club. Unfortunate, we get farmed down, unable to get to another move. We unfortunately have to go into the Morpeko because they have an opportunity to switch out, so we couldn't risk using all that energy on our Poly. So we do invest a shield there. We see the Superior in the back. So energy on the Morpeko might come in handy here. First, Aurora Wheel boosts the attack, and then we're going to be able to get to the dark move, Aurora Wheel. This will do heavy damage. Will it KO? Yes, it will, and that is really good news for us. We see the Shadow Marowak get to another move. They're going to take us out easily, but we have a move on our Poliwrath. No lag. Yes, we are going to be able to win that game with a Scald for the KO. So GG's to our opponent, able to wiggle out of that situation. All right, next game. So it is kind of an interesting core of the Poliwrath with the Morpeko. Morpeko kind of has a sneaky moveset with the Seed Bomb. So let's see if we can showcase that. We're going to farm up just a little bit and then switch out into the Shadow Zapdos afterwards. We are going to be able to reach this Drill Peck before they get to their first move. So that was great timing by us. We're going to shield here. Ends up being the Fly. So now we know they probably have a Fly and Brave Bird. We are going to fire off another Drill Peck here. Grab that second shield. And so 2 shields down, but this Talonflame has a move, I believe. They're going to be able to get to a move here. It could be Brave Bird. We're going to shield here. Ends up only being the Fly, so they end up having back-to-back Flies. This shouldn't KO. Huge damage, but it doesn't KO. We're going to go into the Morpeko immediately, and now we see the Toxapex in the back. Toxapex is actually manageable. Huge Aurora Wheel goes through, boosts our attack, and we're going to be able to farm down before they fire off their brine. So this is really good news for us. Overfarm a little bit versus this for Alligator. Huge Aurora Wheel goes through again, and down goes the rest of their team. So GG's to our opponent. Morpeko going crazy right there. Showing the power of no shields available and just wrecking everything. All right, we got the Poliwrath versus the Kingdra. This is interesting. Kingdra has pretty good neutral matches against everything. We're going to stay in, fire off this Icy Wind. We do grab a shield. Our opponent here is staying in, so we have to shield here in case it's the Outrage, but they go for the Octazooka bait. We do get debuffs, so we're going to switch out immediately. Unfortunately, we are not able to get to this move. They're going to go and fire off the Octazooka, and luckily we avoid the debuff, and we're going to be able to fire off our own Drill Peck. Take out the Kingdra. We see the Omega come in. We have some energy on the Poliwrath, but we decide to go into the Morpeko here. Looks like we are going to outpace them to the first move. They have to go for a potential... Okay, they actually just let that go, and now we're boosted up again. This time we have the neutral Aurora Wheel, the dark version, and this is going to do some heavy damage, so they decide to shield. Let's see if we are able to recover from here. We do shield here, ends up being the Grass Knot, and now we're very close to another move. We decide to go for the Aurora Wheel. Huge damage, even though it's resisted, and now we're forcing them to use some energy. Looks like Grass Knot does get used, and we're going to use our Poliwrath here to farm down, and we do get that farm down. So GG's to our opponent. Perfectly perfect health for the farm down with our Poliwrath. Next game, let's see what we find. We have the Poliwrath versus the Ferrothorn. This is overall pretty good. We have an opportunity to switch out, but our opponent switches out first, so we're going to go into the Zapdos. We probably are going to see this acid spray here. Yep, there's the acid spray. This is kind of a tough one to deal with because our Zapdos is very spammy, but it's very fragile. But also our Morpeko isn't really an answer because we are not running Psychic Fang. So they did 2 shield out of that situation. We are going to have to go into the Poly here to force out some energy. They can't really go Scald because it is a resistant move. They decided to go for the acid spray to try to debuff us. We're going to fire off the Skull to get it in range of a farm down. We do get the farm down with the Morpeko, and this is really fantastic. We see the Ferrothorn. This should only be Power Whip. Yeah, so that was pretty decent shield by us. We're going to fire off the first Aurora Wheel. It is a resistant move, but it boosts our attack. We're going to be able to outpace and get to this Dark Aurora Wheel. This is going to take out the Ferrothorn, and we just got to hope for the best. What's in the back? Ends up being the Toxapex. This is a double boosted Aurora Wheel. How much damage is this going to do? KO? Boom! Down goes the Toxapex. So GG's to our opponent. The Morpeko sweeping that entire team with a little bit of energy advantage against that Tentacruel. All right, next we got the Poliwrath versus this Toxapex. Terrible matchup. We get out of here. Looks like our opponent is going to be throwing the move before we get to ours. We're going to shield here because this Shadow Zapdos could do a lot of damage towards everything. We see the Gastrodon come in. Okay, they invest an early shield. We're going to fire off another Drill Peck really quickly, and down goes 2 shields just like that. We're going to be able to get to another Drill Peck here. It's not going to KO because they're really healthy, but it looks like they are going to allow us to switch out of there. We're going to catch something. Ends up only being the Body Slam, so that's a pretty decent catch. Should be another Body Slam here. Oh, actually, it's the Earth Power. We barely survived. Almost farm it down, but we get it low enough that our Shadow Zapdos can farm it down, and now we see the Toxapex come back in. We're going to chip away at here so that we can potentially farm down with the Morpeko. They switch out into the Charjabug. Charjabug here is not the answer with no shields because we do throw the Aurora Wheel, and now we shield here, and we are already at another Aurora Wheel, and this time it is the dark version, so this is going to take it out easily. And now we're going to be boosted again. This Toxapex has to get to a move before we get to ours. Oh, unable to get to that move, but we do survive a brine easily. So this Aurora Wheel will definitely take out this Toxapex from his range. Down goes the Toxapex. So GG's to our opponent. Morpeko absolutely going crazy. Check out this team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.